Hey everyone, JT Goose here, and today I am going over the 6th season of TCCG's series Futuristic Visions. In this season, there are a total of 6 districts, 5 cases per district. We have Colorado, Washington, California, Tennessee, Florida, and Virginia. It also should be noted that this takes place in the year 2019, and there are a total of 30 cases. As far as team members go, I couldn't really find anything, so I just left it as blank. And for our key city figures, we have King Edward, which is the King of the USA. I got Dorothy Levine, which is the Queen of the USA. And finally, we have Prince Harry, which is the Prince of the USA. Now that we have all of that settled, I can kind of go into the season, talk about what it's about. As far as the first 2 districts go, we don't really learn too much about the overall theme of the season. Most of the cases are just individual cases that focus on a separate killer that has their own type of motive. A lot of the motives include silencing people. I've noticed it's like a common trend. And kind of just like abusive power, which could correlate to what we see later on. Once we go into District 3, we start to really see tension break up. We see the Queen of Levine show up. We see sort of resemblances of the Chinese mob as well as the Russian mob. Once again, going into District 4 and kind of even District 5, it does get a little fadey again, more of just individual cases with their own motives, but things really do start to pick up, starting at the last district of the season, which I believe, let me double check, yes, is Virginia. We see kind of just everything coming together, all of the key city figures. We see the Chinese mob, the Russian mob all come together, and we kind of just start to see a clutterfunk between them. I do think one of the biggest plot twists of the season, Case 29, where we learn that the Queen was actually involved with the tensions between the Russians and the Chinese, and that she was trying to create a war out of it. Right before the season's about to end, Zachary Woods coming in clutch with a bazooka. I still think that's got to be one of my favorite cases I've reviewed so far. Absolutely binoculars. And then we finally finish off this banger of a season with Case 30. This basically ties everything back together once and for all. We see kind of everybody in place. We got the Russians, the Chinese, and finally we get to see the demise of Queen Levine. And I think this is really cool because I think where this is trying to go at is Queen Levine's looked at as this protagonist the whole season. She's the queen. She's one of the head-ups of America, or whatever this thing's trying to be. And it's just cool to kind of see her turn complete the opposite of what she was supposed to be, and then immediately just get absolutely destroyed the next case. I really do like this concept of a season because it completely throws you off guard. You look at these mobs, you look at the Russian mob, you look at the Chinese mob, and you get so concentrated that you completely are unaware that the person who you think is the protagonist ends up being the one who is creating all of this monstrosity to begin with. Now that I've gone over a little bit of a brief summary of the season, I can talk about some of the goods, sort of the bads, and kind of just stuff in the middle. I think as far as the goods go, I really do think that the suspects are some of the best things about this season. I mean, design-wise, they're already doing a lot better than before. And they're just super iconic. Like, there's so many of these characters that I really do think stand out. I got my highlight sheet. I guess I'll just go over that since I'm already in topic. I mean, you got Bulldog, Farrell, Rick, Serena, Pat. We'll throw in Freddie, why not? We got Steven, Mike, Ben, Gus, Dick Bennett, Zacharias, Mark, Alexander, Bridget, Aline. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's fun to watch a season when you see characters that you remember show up over and over again, and it's cool to see them work their way throughout a season. As mentioned before, I do think that it does lead to some consequences. I think the plot was a little bit out of place. It does start out really flunky. There really isn't much to pick out. I think the middle of the season, the plot really starts to go in, and you start to see some of the mobsters and all that good stuff, and then it fades out once again, like case like 16 through like the early 20s, and then it picks up again. So it's I find it to be a little bit inconsistent, but that's just my opinion. The motives this season are kind of all over the place. It's a huge mix for me, because there's some that are really good, you got some that are really bad, and kind of just some that are just I mean, all over the place. I think Case 1, Case 2 are amazing motives. Same with, like, Case 10, where we kind of talk about this huge drug empire that goes around. Same with cases like Case 19, Case 23, Case 27, where it kind of mentions more of the mobs and how they're being a disturbance to the peace. There were also some motives that were a little bit weak. I threw in Case 6 and Case 15 in the mix. There were also a few others. Like, take Case 15, for example. Like, it really just pretty much says that Ben kills his girlfriend because he got rejected. I feel like if this was going to be a little bit more strong, maybe include a little bit more detail into why that is, maybe talk about what the girlfriend did, that sort of stuff. It does go a little bit into that, but I feel like it could go a little deeper. Now that I've done all of that, we're going to go over the highlights of the season. So kind of just like the personal best stuff, like Golden Chainsaw, Dull Machete, best character, etc. As far as the Golden Chainsaw goes, I'm giving it to Case 29. I mean, how can I not? It's a freaking bazooka. Dull Machete for the lamest kill, I'm giving it to Case 1. It's just a ribbon. I don't know. I mean, I get it. First case, it's not going to be anything extreme, but it's a little bit too basic. As far as the best character goes, I'm giving it to Zhang Jing. I feel like it's a little bit unexpected. You don't really see her coming into the mix. You just see, you kind of just look at her like a throwaway character. But right at the end, she just kills Queen Levine, and I don't know. I just think it's a sick character just to come out of nowhere like that. As far as the MLCA award goes, I'm going to give it to Case 25, Chapter 2. And with that, final comments, kind of things I'll say. It's a little bit inconsistent. I mean, character designs are good. I don't think those are an issue. I think it's just more of the plot kind of going all over the place. You focus on cases where it's just about an individual, then you got cases that focus about the mob, and it kind of just reverses and reverses. It's not too much of an issue. It's just something I would like to point out because I saw it a lot of times. I also did want to mention too, these cases drove me crazy. I tried looking them up on the YouTube channel, and it's just a little, it just seems like he's just picking cases. He's like, you know what? I don't want to do this case. I'm just going to skip one. And then he kind of just did that until like case 20-ish. And then he's like, all right, guys, you know what? I need to start grinding now. All right, I cannot be skipping no more. This trait has got to be one of the most annoying things I've ever seen. I want to know why? Because I've seen it in not one, but 2 cases where everybody has white hair and the killer trait is saying that the person has orange hair. But both times, it is not orange hair. It is white hair. Like, TCCG, you could, like, look up any case that looks brighter than this. You could have looked up, like, gray hair or, like, I don't know, not orange. Like, I don't know what the case is. It's like Save the World Case 5. Like, steal the white hair from there. Don't put this orange. I don't know what that means. I searched up, I accidentally searched up the wrong killer 2 times. I had to go back and then back again. TCCG, you drive me crazy. All jokes aside, though, I think it's a good season. We're going to see with later seasons that it is going to pick up, and this is just a feather to a bird. Yeah, I'm not funny. The score I'm giving this is a strong 5 to a light 6. Hope you enjoyed this review. Futuristic Visions. See you in the future. Bye-bye.